I think it's possible that as humans, our society and technology have changed so rapidly that our brains can't keep up.
This is the Padua Podcast Network.
Running a Fever, episode 322.
Shattering the Yo-Yo.
Innovation. Previously on Running a Fever. Went to a new restaurant. Had what, I consider to be very original food selections. I mean, of course, you got the same foods, but the dishes are innovative. And that's great. I think, we get into this thing of everything, people feel more comfortable if they have a dish and it's exactly the way it's supposed to be, and I expect to get my Greek salad and take the red onions off, and that's fine. It's like a lot of things. Once you have to know the rules before you break them, right? And so a good chef already knows all these things, these classic dishes, and can break the rules and come up with all sorts of new and interesting things. Culture of easy, ready-made, delicious, cheap foods that are usually bad for us. So where I had a Greek salad modified, it had some meat or fowl on it. I believe it was chicken. The waitress warned us that it would all be dark meat. So there's another innovation or change. It was nice that they had an interesting selection of, couldn't get a Coke there, it looked like, which was strange. You could get a peach iced tea, was about the normalist thing. I just made that word up, normalist. What I had was, these are the flavors that are listed: jalapeno, grenadine, lime, honey. And it was delicious. I suppose that the jalapeno flavor was gotten through infusing water. It tasted good. It was a little spicy, obviously, and kind of citrusy. It was all those flavors. So I tried what you might call it an innovative drink. Just really seemed to make sense to me. Peel of grapefruit, divide up the sections a little bit. Same thing with a couple of lemons, slice a Granny Smith apple, put them in a plastic container, freeze them overnight. And then in the blender, add a little bit of ice to that, lemon juice, lime juice, and blend. Really just delicious. Made sense to me. I actually like it, with some salt, and it's delicious. But some people that may be kind of weird. I don't know. I really need a name for it. Grape, lime, and fruit. Acid rain, that'd be a good name for it. So, like I was saying, I think we could, really help our diets by just being more innovative. Try to think of, if something's tasty and it's not very healthy, is there a way you could get that flavor in, just a little bit of it? Now, the episode that you just heard outtakes from relates to my trip to the Hive, a local restaurant a couple of towns over from where I live. Recently, I went to a more normal restaurant. I had a club sandwich, but instead of mayo, they put honey mustard sauce on it. I had plenty of time to mull it over as I got there early to meet someone, and I thought about asking the waitress to substitute mayo for the honey mustard sauce. Then it occurred to me that whoever came up with this dish probably made that choice for a reason. I should probably go ahead and try it because it may just be better than the old standard. This gives rise to some other thoughts about my existence. I've always thought I was different than most folks. And that's true to a degree, but I see some stereotypical things happening to me as I get older. One of the things is I am more set in my thinking. I'm not as willing to change my mind about something. Adapting and surviving are not the same thing. Adaptation is an internal change in order to account for an external change. If employers are no longer willing to pay me as much, I need to adjust my spending. If the climate gets colder, I need to find or make clothes to provide the warmth I need. That's adaptation. Survival is a very similar concept. We either survive or not. If the climate gets colder, I may survive or I may not. Now, only 100 years ago, I would be statistically near the end of my life. Survival would depend on a lot of things out of my control. But the things I would control, I would have to manage based on what wisdom I'd gained to that point in my life. Survival is a minute-by-minute, day-to-day concept. I think it's possible that as humans, our society and technology have changed so rapidly that our brains can't keep up. And from generation to generation, our ability to change is also transforming as a species, so that even if we can't keep up with our own technology, we progress mentally. Unlike the machines we invent, our intelligence does not increase exponentially. So there's my theory on why I'm becoming less adaptable as I age. I constantly see examples of this, but I think I'm learning to be adaptable. At least I'm learning that a static mind leads to a declining body, and that means if I don't adapt more, I will not live longer, which is one of my goals. So much for the philosophy department. Medical department. I am clear of COVID and casts, and back to working pretty much every day in the office. But I have symptoms still that lead me to believe that long COVID is something I have to deal with, but it is hard to tell. Aches and pains could be caused by anything. I've recently been feeling pain in my left knee, which is the one I hurt after my first few episodes back in 2017. I suspect that old injury may have been aggravated by my accident in April, and I'm just feeling it now because of the wonderful prescription anti-inflammatories that I've been on the last few months, and now that has been taken away. But nausea comes more often now, and that's not a normal thing, I think. It defies an alternate explanation. I think it may be time to delve into long COVID some more. But that will have to wait for another episode because this one is all done. So if you got the fever, keep it. If you don't, catch it. And I will talk to you next time on Running a Fever.